Yeah, I thought, that first quarter got us. We started out, and I think it was 21-9 to start the game. And when you play a good team like Drexel, historically they're always a really good defensive team. They make it difficult for you. You don't get a lot of easy shots, and I thought we played pretty well for 3 quarters of the game. That first quarter kind of put us in that hole, and I think we cut it to 5 in the fourth quarter. And sometimes you got to expend so much gas to be able to get back in the game that we weren't able to get over the hump. But I was super proud of our young ladies. I talked to them after our Elon game. I just felt like we played like a bunch of individuals instead of a team, and I thought we played like a team today. We've got to, fix some of the controllable mistakes. We did cut down on our turnovers from the last game, but we still had a lot of unforced ones, as well as gave up some offensive rebounds that we should not have. And so those are all controllable things on our end. I feel like I'm in Groundhog Day. We sit here and we talk about the same things at every game, but we believe that we've got the people in the locker room to be able to help us to get over this hump.
Coach, talk about Mary Ferrito. Tied her career high with 6 assists today, had 9 points. Just talk about her stepping up in the wake of losing your 2 point guards early this season.
Mary's my first recruit, and Mary has done everything that I've asked her to do. It doesn't matter whether it's starting, coming off the bench, be the point guard, be the 2 guard. And nobody's harder on themselves than what Mary is. And when she's good and when she's a stabilizing force for us, we're really good. And when she's not, we're bad. And so I thought she had a great bounce back game from Elon. And we're going to need her to be able to steady the ship for us going down the rest of the conference.
Roy Cox, career high 21 points, 8 of 12 from the floor. Just talk about what she's brought to the program for one season.
Yeah, I call Rory an outside dog. If you notice, she stopped wearing her undershirt, and she said it's unleashing the outside dog in her. But Rory's special, and I still don't think Rory has even scratched the surface of how good she can be. We're working on a couple things, but her just aggressiveness and her mentality that she has about the game in general is what we needed in that spot. She's done great. I told her we always make a deal after she gets that first foul. I need you to pull it back a little bit so you don't get that second foul, because we need her out there on the court. And so I thought, considering that she was in foul trouble, that she did well within what she could.
You talked about getting out to a slow start, but you did so outscore Drexel over the last 3 quarters.
Yep.
What was the change for the team right there over the next 3 quarters?
Yeah, we talked a lot about being the aggressor. We felt like we were just kind of playing on our heels and they were taking it to us. And we said, all right, well, let us be the aggressors and take it to them on both ends of the court, and let's see what happens. And Drexel is one of those teams. They're a methodical team, so if you get up in them and you mess up their timing a little bit, you might, get a second to be able to recover, where somebody might have been open. And so I thought we did that a lot better the last 3 quarters, and I thought we executed offensively pretty well in those quarters. We'd like to have a couple plays back down the stretch in that fourth quarter, but one of the things that we've been working on are end-of-game plays. I thought they went out there and they executed them to perfection. And so as a coach, I always say you got to give us a chance. You got to get the shot up. We made a lot of them, and that's growth for us.
You wrap up your 3-game homestand next Friday with Charleston.
Yep.
It's also National Women and Girls in Sports Day. Just talk about the significance of that for yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I remember back when sports came into my life at about 7 or 8 years old, and I don't know where I would be without sports. And so being able to have an opportunity to give back, we're going to have a clinic here before the game where all the women's sports will be here, and the girls will be able to come and play a little bit of all of the sports. It's huge. I ended up going to the first college campus I ever went on. I ended up going to that school. Who knows? We might have a bunch of future Seahawks, but anytime we can invite the community, especially the young girls, I'm always excited for those games, and we're going to be working all week to put a good product out there for them.
First Tia, then Kate, and now Torrin was out for this game. That's most of your starters from very early on in the season. How difficult is it managing a roster knowing your key contributors have been missing some time?
Yeah, Colton, it's a rough go of it, ain't it? But we talk about it all the time. Next man up. We hope to have Torrin back next week, so we don't think it's anything serious. But anytime you've got players that have played, 30 minutes a game, it's always difficult. But I thought our other players stepped up. Angelina Palayo had her first start today, and I thought I remember my first start and being like, oh man, this is different, and then I thought she came in the second half and settled down a little bit. We're going to need her. She anchors that paint for us defensively as well as on the rebounding side of things. Corey McLaughlin, McCall King, Paige Smith had a great game today, and so we just need those players in whatever position, whenever their time is called, to be able to step up and be ready. And I thought they all were today.
Regardless of outcome, the show must go on.
Yep.
Now dropping 5 straight. Next game's against the first place team in the conference. How do you sort of keep the morale up for your players day in and day out?
5 straight, and I think 9 of the last 11, if my memory serves me correctly. And it's tough to hear that because we know there's a bunch of those games that we should have won. And the good thing for us is we know that a lot of the losses were in direct relation to us, things that we've done wrong, things that we can control and be better at. And so no other time better than versus the number 1 team in the conference should we focus on our principles and making sure that we try to limit our mistakes as much as possible. I think that's kind of a big thing for us, is just repping, and making sure that we put ourselves in the best case scenario on offense and defense to be able to execute. And so you have to do that versus Charleston. They're the best team in the conference for a reason, and we're looking forward to it.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Cole.
Appreciate it.